Let's go. They've got everything. Everything Caravan and Camping. They've got everything.
Great to have you with us with our Everything Caravan and Camping podcast, sponsored by ECCParks. My name's Scott Hillier from Channel 7. Now, every week we are going to take you to an ECC park destination around this great country of ours. We're going to get you there safe with our weight and towing masterclasses. We've got tech tips. We're going to chat with influencers as well as you, the listeners. We want to hear your questions, where you've been, what you're up to, something you want to know, something I haven't said, all of that. We're going to have a laugh with Caravan Park Confessions. It's an absolute cracker. And every week we're going to chat to the greatest chef ever given an open fire at a set of tongs, none other than Harry Fisher from Fire to Fork. I'm pretty excited. Let's go. Come on. ECC, it's a 24/7 marketplace for all things caravanning, camping and 4x4. Now, with more than 10,000 products available from hundreds of popular brands, you'll find everything you need for your next outdoor adventure. Don't forget, subscribe to the newsletter and save a further 10% off the best brands, products and prices. They're only a click away.
Let's go.
It's that time of the podcast as we take you to a different ECC park around this great country of ours, and we are off to New South Wales, Lake Macquarie Holiday Park in Swansea. We're catching up with Melissa. Hello, Melissa.
How are you?
I'm going well, but having a look at your destination and where your park is situated, I reckon you're going a little bit better than I am.
Definitely.
So
a beautiful place to work and a lovely place to visit.
It is. So can you actually see water out your window? So for those that aren't aware, you'll virtually have a lake and the sea either side of you.
Yeah, basically we've got the lake down at the far end of the park, and then we've got the Swansea Channel just across the road there with the boat ramp.
With the boat ramp. See, I'm a fisherman. Now, not everyone listening are fishermen, but Melissa, my ears pricked. You got a boat ramp there. So I guess before we get into the park, a lot of people do come there to try their hand at a bit of fishing.
They certainly do. We got a lot of fishing clubs coming in because we've got the space for these big groups to come in and gather.
Lovely, lovely. Now, I've done a little bit of homework and I'm well aware that we catch a few flathead, you get a few whiting and you get a few bream, just your bread and butter species.
Yeah, basically, people do go outside that. I'm not a big fisherman myself, I'm a fishing person.
No, that's fine.
But definitely get a lot of feedback from people who are.
Yeah, no, I bet. And I'm sure there's plenty more to do whilst you're there, and we'll talk about that. But I guess, firstly, Lake Macquarie Holiday Park, tell us a bit about it.
It's a rather large park. We've got probably about 30 cabins on site, all different sort of types of accommodation, down from budget up to your deluxe villas down by the water.
Wow.
And then we've got quite a number of powered sites. I would say they'd probably be in the vicinity of around about 80 to 100 out there.
Melissa, wow.
And then we've got a big unpowered area as well for people who want to do that, and obviously powered on suite sites. So it just depends on what people are after and what they can run.
Yes.
Without power or power.
Yeah, so I'm hearing the size of that. We're talking motorhomes, camper trailers, caravan, you name it, tractors, you'll fit it in there.
Pretty much. Yeah, rooftop tents. Yeah, everybody does a bit of everything.
Wow. And camp kitchen amenities, talk us through that.
We've got a camp kitchen down there, so that's got a bigger patio area. There's a couple of electric barbecues down there, but a full kitchen if you want to do traditional cooking.
Wow.
And there's a TV in there, and we've also got a parents' room, so if they want to escape and not be around children.
Melissa,
sort of retreat to there.
Everyone else has a kids' room. You've got a parents' room. That's fantastic.
Well, the whole park is really for the kids. They've got the water park and tennis courts and basketball courts and playground. And we're just about to put in what's called a ninja park, which is a bit like a climbing sort of centre for the kids. So, yeah, That'll be exciting when that opens.
Yeah, it's sounding to me ideal for the families.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
The water park only came in last year, just after July, and that's been a huge hit, especially we've got a lot of locals that just come in and go camping with the kids just so they can use it.
Oh, fantastic. And amenities, I'm sure you got plenty of those.
We do. We've got one big amenities block and another one at either end of the park, a bit smaller, but just enough to accommodate the people around that area.
Lovely.
But we get a lot of feedback saying how clean they are, and we just get pretty positive comments from people on their way out. So great to hear.
That's what you want. Now, it's 7 a.m. in the morning, Melissa. I've just woke up in the park. I'm having a stretch and I'd love to go and get a coffee or something to eat or maybe book dinner for that night. We got a couple of restaurants and shops close by?
We do. We've got our local clubs and there's a few restaurants, Chinese restaurants up at the main street of Swansea, but plenty of cafes to choose from. And then we've got a few outer area RSL clubs, so there's plenty of clubs. They all do something different. So.
Yeah. And apart from the fishing, any other things to do? Now, I did my homework. I hear your park, once you get in there, it's just the park where you sit back, relax and go nowhere.
Yeah, a lot of people just do that. They generally only venture out to go down to Woolworths or Coles or out for dinner. But, yeah, generally it's once they arrive, especially the families, it's just somewhere where you can just spend your whole day. Yeah. And there's always plenty for the kids to do. And
when it's nice and busy in the season, do you do a bit of a Friday night drink or cook up? Or I guess in the park that just happens naturally, doesn't it?
It just happens naturally. Everybody kind of does their own thing. But during the school holidays, especially the major ones, we've got a kids program. So there's a lot of different things. We do chocolate bingo and face painting and things like that. So there's a lot. There's a program that goes out when people arrive so they know, okay, at least we've got all these things. And do a few movie nights in there as well.
Oh, wow. Chocolate bingo. You sort of had me there, Melissa. That sounds like a bit of fun.
Well, it's definitely popular with the kids. Now everybody likes a lolly.
What about if I'm watching my weight, Melissa? Body's a temple.
Look, we get parents in there as well. It's not just for kids. It's everybody to come down and enjoy.
Lovely. Now, you recently had a big event down there. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we've got Bulk Fest. So that's definitely one of our biggest events. We're at full capacity for the Volks Fest event. So, yeah, hopefully that's definitely going to go well for us.
Yeah, no, good on you. And I'm guessing, being so big, but you still encourage people to jump online or give you a call and ring ahead and book?
Yeah, definitely. Look, booking online is quite an easy process, but if anybody has any issues, they can always give us a call in the office and we'll walk them through it.
Easy. Lake Mac Holiday Park, Swansea, New South Wales. Melissa, thanks for chatting with us, and we look forward to
You are welcome.
Hopefully sending plenty of our listeners your way.
Yep, fantastic.
Lovely. Thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And just a reminder that there are 65 parks throughout Australia and New Zealand. Now, if you head to everythingcaravancamping.com.au today, you can purchase an ECCParks/Family Parks Travel Rewards membership for a ridiculous low $30. So that is cheap. That's your membership there, and it's going to give you 10% off your stay at all ECC Parks Family Park destinations right throughout Australia and also New Zealand. So it's definitely worth getting. Discounts and deals while you travel with their rewards. You get a third night free voucher and an entry card to their frequent camper competition. So seriously, jump onto the website and get yourself that $30 membership. It is worth every cent.
Let's go. Everything Caravan and Camping.
Well, it's that time of the podcast again for our weight and towing masterclass, and we've got him. We've hooked him in. He's been at the gym. He's been doing sit-ups. He's been doing burpees from Total Towing Setups. Garry Gardner. How are you, brother?
Yeah, good, Scotty. How you going, mate?
Yeah.
More like eating beers and having donuts, mate.
I was waiting for you to get straight back to me and say, Scotty, come on. That'd be like you saying that I've been at the gym doing burpees and sit-ups. Nah, nothing wrong with a good feed, guys. Nothing wrong at all, my friend. Oh, mate, I've got to say, we're getting that many positive notes about our weight and towing masterclass. People hungry and thirsty for information. So another one that's come up, mate, and I'd love you to cover and just explain a bit more about it to us, are sway controllers. Tell us about that, mate.
Yeah, so historically we've always used products to try and help our towing experience better. And over the years, there's been some really good development come through on both mechanical and electronic controlled sway control devices.
Yep.
So they're products that are there to stop your van from swaying. You know, the old tail wagging the dog sort of scenario, and they wobbles up on the highway.
You know what? A lot of people I speak to at the shows, that's their biggest worry, Garry, is that they're going to get to a speed and the van just starts doing the, as you said, the wag the tail. It's scary.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, there's lots of things to consider before you use these sorts of products. There's the right car and caravan combination, all those things all set up correctly. But these sway control devices, both the electronic ones and the mechanical ones, they're like that last line of defence. They're another insurance policy to make sure that if everything gets out of control and there's a serious incident in the caravan, these products will engage and do what they're going to do and stop that van from swaying.
Yeah, okay. And is speed a factor in the swaying? I know there's a lot of people out there listening going, tell me more about the swaying caravan. What are some factors is it strong wind? Is it speed? What are some things that can cause the old van to get the...
Yeah, the answer to that question is yes. There's so many things. Yeah. There's the weight of the van in relation to the weight of the car. There's the way the van's been packed, the way it's been loaded. The tow ball weight impact, if that's too light, that could be a potential factor. But these sort of sway control devices, they're not there for just passive sway control. So if you're towing down the highway and the van just gets a bit of a wander up and just starts walking around behind the back of the car for no particular reason, there's obviously a balance issue or a ball weight issue or something's gone astray there.
Yep.
But if you get a serious sway from a big crosswind or a large truck overtakes you or you hit a big pothole or something and the van gets well and truly out of control, then that's where these additional products, the sway controllers, that's where they pull the van straight again.
And are they easy to install, Gaz? I mean, obviously you get experts to install it, but is it a day thing? Are they easy to pop in?
Yeah, once the electronic ones in particular, we're lucky a lot of van manufacturers now fit these from the factory. There is, the ability. I do fit these things as an aftermarket thing as well. Underneath the van, and they're about a day's worth of work for me to wire them all up and do the hard things, all the hard work.
Yeah.
The mechanical ones, they're like a half hour, 45-minute installation. Yeah, they work really well when they're set up correctly.
Yeah, they do it.
Yeah, look me up on the website, totaltowingsetups.com.au, or find me on Facebook as well.
Lovely, mate. And if you want to shoot us a question, podcast at everythingcaravancamping.com.au. Thanks again, Garry. Have a good week, mate.
You too, Scotty. Cheers, mate.
I hope you're enjoying this, our Everything Caravan and Camping podcast. It is Tech Tip time with the great Charlie Graham. And once again, how are you, my friend?
Scotty, I'm doing well, mate. Just cruising around, enjoying life as it comes.
I know. People say I got the best life. You haven't got a bad one. Trust me.
No,
Trust me. Now, mate, with different crime rates in and around the places we're travelling, and people are always conscious about making sure their products and their vans and their values are secure, Malenko Safety and Security Products, you've got a couple of things in our tech tips to talk about.
That's it, Scotty. Malenko, they are the leaders in caravan safety and security.
Yep.
The great thing about Malenko is, and I do see it a lot, especially driving around on the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, especially in suburbia. We can't all tuck our vans behind the house where no one can see them anymore, so we're forced to leave them out the front. Now, that does leave them a little bit exposed.
Yep.
Now, the cool thing is with Malenko is they have a huge range of security products. And not just starting with the caravan doors, we also have wheel clamps, we have security cables, we even have hitch locks. So you can lock that van up nice and tight and no one's going anywhere with it.
How good's that? How good is that, young Charlie? Man, it's also peace of mind too, because the last thing you want, you've just paid all this money for your new camper, your new van. The last thing you want is anything to happen. Get stolen or gets broken in and vandalised, etc. Great little tip there, young Charlie. And guess what? We're going to be back doing it all again next week.
That's it, mate. And as I say, like normally your caravan or your camper trailer is probably the second largest investment you're ever going to make in your life, so why would you want to leave that unguarded?
Look at you go. That flowed off the mouth beautifully, young Charlie. All right, brother. Speak next week.
Awesome, mate. I'll talk to you then.
Come on. Let's go. Everything Caravan and Camping.
I hope you're enjoying this, our Everything Caravan and Camping podcast, and this is the part of the show that is getting a lot of feedback. I must say, Jason, you are becoming a bit of a cult hero. People are loving hearing your stories, whether it's BS or not. We don't care. We want to hear, because you're the man on the ground. You're the man walking around at night. You're talking to the park folk. You are hearing it all. Hence, Caravan Park Confessions. What have we got?
Oh, Scotty, I've got to tell you, they are all 100% true.
No
BS here.
Yeah, you're like me. You and I are out of the same mold. We never bullshit. You don't let it stand in the way of a good story anyway.
All right, have I got a perler for you today? It's a bit of a fingers in the ear perler.
Oh, okay. So listeners out there, just be warned. This could be a little bit of fingers in the ear. Children, turn off.
So I'm walking around the park on a Sunday morning, and on one of our campsites, I've got this little two-man dome tent, the one you get from Kmart.
Yeah, no, the one cheap. But it blows away if you sneeze, yes.
Blows away if you sneeze. Yeah. I can guarantee you she was doing more than sneezing.
Oh, no,
I have people on sites around them tapping me on the shoulder saying, you're going to do something about that. I'm going, what do you mean? And as I walk past, she'd been moaning and groaning for hours. Her and her boyfriend had been going at it. And I had to knock on the door and say, it's 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Can we please we're in a family park. We've got kids. Can we stop?
So you've had to knock on the tarp, on the tent. Tick, 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 hello.
Yeah. Hello. Can we just keep it down a little bit? She was very embarrassed. She goes, but I do get carried away.
Oh, embarrassed. I reckon she would have been. Oh, well, you did the right thing, and hopefully they stopped, Jason.
On this occasion they did, but wait for more next week.
Oh, dear, gee. Okay. For those listeners waiting for more next week, will be happening. Have a good week, Jace. I look forward to the next story.
You too, Scotty.
Time to catch up with a couple of our influencers, and this man here, I can't wait to hear his story. Rob from Throttle Downunder. How are you, champ?
Yeah, good, mate. Very good, thank you.
Now, listen, I know we spoke off air and you were telling me about a trip you've recently done, but the listeners out there are busting to hear where you've been. Where have you been and what did you do?
It's been a chaotic year, really. But the most recent journey, I flew over to India, into Delhi, and then we did a motorcycle journey from Leh up into the Himalayan mountains, which was quite epic.
All on motorcycle?
All on a motorcycle, yeah. From Leh, we picked up our bikes. Wow. I did it with a tour group called Roaming Horizon.
Yeah.
And from there, it was a 9-day tour through the magical mountains and all over the rough roads of the Himalayas.
Yeah, wow.
And, it was quite wild, actually. A lot of fun.
Rob, I'm only a fisherman, but I'm guessing Throttle Downunder, a lot of the stuff you do is on a motorbike. Am I a good guesser?
Yeah, I guess it's primarily motorcycles, but I do a lot of car content as well. It's kind of like just getting out and enjoying the world we live in more than anything else.
Yeah. You've gone afar. You've gone overseas. Tell us about it. Did everything go smoothly? Did a few things pop up? Okay, we love the Everything Caravan Camping family are going. Tell us more, Rob. What didn't go smoothly?
Absolutely. So I guess the hard thing to know when you're going into altitude is how well your body will handle the altitude, and that's completely out of your control.
Yep.
And I didn't acclimatise very fast into the altitude, so I had quite a few days of being unwell. But once I did acclimatise and the body adapted, I started enjoying the trip a whole lot more.
Yeah, okay. A little tip if anyone is going to head overseas and do that. So it was quite bad, Rob, quite serious. It knocked you about.
Yeah, so when we got into Leh, we're at 4,300 metres.
Wow.
Which is already quite high. We're considering Kosciuszko's 2,000 metres in height.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
Australia's highest.
Yeah, that is a good example. You're up there.
Yep.
You're in the clouds, so to speak.
Exactly. And so then when we got to our highest point, I think it was about 6,100 metres, which is about 18,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's for an Aussie that's lived his life at sea level, that was pretty hardcore for me.
Yeah, and how'd the bike handle it? Did the trip go smoothly in terms of the way you travelled?
Yeah, absolutely. The bikes we use over there are Royal Enfields, and they're made in India. They're a very simple bike that can be worked on easily on the side of the road, and they're just like a tractor. They got us to everywhere we needed to go without a problem.
Well, mate, let's come back to Australia. Just give us an example. What one of your favourite trips you've done here in Oz, whether it be on the bike or towing a van. Tell us one of your favourite ones here.
Surprisingly enough, it wasn't long. I was invited to do a trip with the TV show What's Up Down Under.
Yep, know the team.
And Everything Caravan and Camping.
Yep.
And we just did a trip along the Great Ocean Road up through central Victoria into South Australia and then Mildura.
Wow.
And that was interesting because I was the only motorcyclist and the rest of them were caravan and campers.
Yep.
So it was a good way to see how the other side of people live. People on 4 wheels instead of 2.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting.
Yeah. And so, Rob, what are you doing to sleep? And have you got a little kit bag on the back? Or do you stay in a cabin, or do you have a swag rolled up on the back of the bike?
I do a little bit of everything. I had a swag on my old Harley, but my swag's really big and the Harley was a lot bigger. I'm riding a BMW GS now.
Of course
so
you are.
I've got all the 10.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a comfort guy as well. I'm 50 years old, so
yeah.
I'll be in a tent sometimes, cabins, caravan, hotels. I do a bit of everything when I'm travelling.
I love how you say, Rob, you're a comfort man, but you're travelling on a motorbike. Seriously, you're making do, to be honest, really.
Just between you and me, it's one of the most comfortable bikes to ride too.
Wow, it does sound like it's a bit bloody flash, but that's good, mate. And any tips for people out there that are listening? I'm not necessarily going to travel on a motorbike, but just travelling in general. Some little things you found as you come into parks or as you leave one location and go to the next. Any tips?
Something that I've realised recently is a lot of the holiday parks and caravan parks have come a long way since I was a kid and used to stay in them.
Yeah.
Like now, for a lot of families, it's a great option, whether you're staying in the cabin or you have a caravan or a tent. There's a lot of them are almost like resorts, so they have pools and mini golf and crazy things like that. So if you're after a bit of comfort, those holiday parks offer them now. But also, I'm a big fan of the tiny house movement. So there's a lot of farmers that have a tiny house on their property where you can go and stay the night, and it's relative luxury and something that's a bit bigger than a caravan. And I enjoy that a lot too.
Yeah, that's not a bad tip. I mean, just get away from the run of the mill if you want to, and just stay there singly on the farm. They've probably got farm animals zipping around as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right. You wake up to a cow outside your window, and it's something that's quite unique.
Ah, bloody good, Rob. Now, mate, I know you've done a lot of travelling over the years. You're in my vintage. We're 50-odd. Yep. Is there somewhere in this great country of ours you haven't been and you have said, I am going to get there one day or very soon?
Yeah, absolutely. The Nullarbor is one of my bucket list items. Ironically, just this weekend past, we had a motorcycle creators meetup where all of the YouTubers from Australia, we met up in a town called Walter in New South Wales.
Yeah.
One of the ladies that came across, she was a Texan that's living in Perth, but she spent 10 days riding from Perth to Sydney to come up to the weekend.
Wow.
And across the Nullarbor, of course. And so that would be a bucket list item from there to do the Nullarbor across the Perth.
Yeah, and obviously on the bike.
On the bike, yeah, absolutely. I'll do it in anything, but my preference would be on a bike, just for the experience of it.
Yeah, wow. And on the bike, Rob, do you try and travel in groups, or are you just happy to go on your own, trust your vehicle or trust your bike and trust what you know, and if you get into a sticky situation, you'll get out, or is it solo or are you in groups?
Look, I'm a bit of both, really. I love solo riding. I do a lot of riding for my own mental health, and part of that is just getting out there on your own and getting rid of all the rubbish out of your life.
Yep.
But I've also got an amazing network of riders who I love spending time with, and we're actually doing a trip down to Tassie in February. We're going to do 2 days into Geelong, the overnight ferry, and then a week in Tassie.
Wow.
I think we've got about 40 bikes going on that, so that's going to be a really good trip. And that'll be my first visit to Tassie as well, so I'm very excited.
Oh. So if people want to follow your journey to Tassie and all the other adventures you've been on, Rob, how can people follow you and find you?
Yeah, look, I've got Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
Yep.
And YouTube, obviously, long-format videos, and then more daily operations on Instagram and Facebook. But it's all under Throttle Downunder.
Throttle Downunder.
Very easy to find, yeah. And I've got a comprehensive website as well that's got a blog attached. But, yeah, follow me on there and join my journey. Say g'day and tell me where you've come from. I love hearing people's stories as well.
Oh, we loved hearing your story, Rob. Mate, it's great to have you on our Everything Caravan and Camping podcast. Safe travels to Tassie, and I look forward to catching up with you on the back of that trip.
Wonderful, Scotty. Thanks so much, mate. I appreciate it.
Good on you, Rob. Hope you're enjoying this, our Everything Caravan and Camping podcast, and I must say, one of my favourite segments of this show is catching up with the great Harry of Fisher. How are you, mate?
I'm going very well, Scott. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. The legend from Fire to Fork. I've got to say, you've already got a big fan base, but I'll tell you what, we're getting lots of people writing in saying how much they're enjoying your recipes, how many times people...
Fantastic.
Yeah, how many people have tried the different one. The big one was early in our podcast. You spoke about the oyster sauce and then roll it into the panko breadcrumbs with the fish. Going gangbusters.
Yeah, that's a ripper. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. I do it regularly at home.
Yeah, no, I can't deny I've done it a couple of times, maybe even on Creek Coast, and I might have said it was my idea.
Good man.
But, mate, a couple of questions now. With your seafood, and I know the answer to this, but people are asking, whether it's fish, prawns, any seafood, undercook or overcook, what's the best?
Mate, I reckon when it comes to really fresh fish that you trust, I reckon it's impossible. I think it's criminal to overcook.
Yeah.
And then there are other things that, if you're buying stuff like prawns and things like that, you definitely want them to be cooked through. But if you're catching your own fish and you're filleting it and you know the process, you can chuck it straight in your gob. It does not matter. There's nothing more criminal than I think than just cooking it to within an inch of its life. But yeah, I mean, look, sashimi, ceviche, all that kind of stuff. I think you can go on the lean side with cooking on most things.
I love how you said just eat it straight out of the ocean. I'm a big sashimi fan, and people go, but if it's fresh, it doesn't matter what species. Get a little bit of soy, bit of wasabi down the old gob, and get into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and look, if you're starting out, you start with ceviche, so anything with a bit of acid, it'll cook in the acid.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's so good.
Oh.
And I also say to everyone who tries it when they first start, make sure it's cold.
Good tip. Yep.
Warm fish doesn't taste as good, I think, when you first start. Whereas that icy cold fresh fish, I just love. It's So refreshing.
Oh, mate, we could talk for hours, but we need to get into a little recipe for those that are out, whether they're camping, they're in their RVs, they're just out under the stars. My mate from Fire to Fork's got something for you to cook up over the fire.
All right, mate. I reckon today let's do a dessert because we haven't done one yet.
A big smile on my face. I'm a big man. I love my dessert. Love my dessert. I'm sure the listeners out there love their desserts.
So, look, I wanted to keep this one really simple. And if you've ever had a jester's pie or any kind of a puff pastry pie, you know how bloody good they are. They're really crispy and delicious. Now, the thing that I found is that a piece of puff pastry fits perfectly in a jaffle iron.
Oh.
So you just need to fold it over in a jaffle iron, and then you fill it with what you need to fill it with. So in my case, I love a puff pastry apple pie.
Yeah.
You get some Granny Smith apples, dice them up, a little bit of brown sugar, quarter of a cup, a little bit of lemon, some butter, 100 grams of butter, a little bit of salt because, you know, who doesn't love brown sugar, butter and salt? Delicious. If you've got some cinnamon, chuck that in. But the other thing, this is more for the adults, but if you've got a bit of spiced rum, throw that in there. In a pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of spiced rum, so, you know, your Captain Morgan sort of thing.
Yeah.
Chuck just a shot of that in there. Boil it up. Wait till it all breaks down. So you just boil it in a billy or a pot or a saucepan, whatever you like. And then pour that mixture inside your jaffle and cook it. And you just get the most amazing apple pies with really minimal gear.
Oh, and you know what I'd have it with it, Harry? I'd have, you know, that the cream you can buy in the can.
100%. Yeah.
Smother it in the cream or the ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh,
bit of cream, bit of custard even, you know, whatever. It's so good. That's an absolute winner.
Mate, that is why we love chatting with you every week. Now, Harry's got the best book ever given pages out there at the moment, Fire to Fork Adventure Cooking. So if you want to have a bit of a read, steal some of his recipes and do that for yourself at home, it's pretty simple. You can purchase it online at everythingcaravancamping.com.au. Good on you, Harry Fisher. We'll catch up with you next week.
Cheers, guys. See you then.
Let's go.
Now, don't forget to head over to the Everything Caravan and Camping podcast page, everythingcaravancamping.com.au. Sign up to the newsletter for your chance to win a $50 voucher to spend on the ECC marketplace. And don't forget to catch up on all of our ECC episodes. You go to where you get your podcasts, or you can head over to everythingcaravanandcamping.com.au. Well, there's another podcast done and dusted for this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. As per usual, I have an absolute blast chatting with everybody. But hey, we want to hear from you, the listener. So we want to know if we haven't covered something off, you've got a question in regards to safety, in regards to cooking, in regards to anything. You can even say, Scotty, you said that wrong, whatever. We want to hear from you. Send us an email, podcast at everythingcaravancamping.com.au. Be safe out on the roads. See you next time.
Come on. Let's go. They've got everything. Everything Caravan and Camping. Let's go. They've got everything.